Urbanology magazine. And I also run a youth journalism program in Scarborough as well called Say the Word.
I'm Samantha, and I'm a journalist for Urbanology magazine.
So Urbanology, just so you have a little bit of background, it started right here in Melbourne, which is where I was born and raised and still live, 8 years ago. And basically we've been printing it 4 times a year ever since then. And we also have a website that gets updated on a daily and weekly basis, urbanologymag.com. And we cover a wide range of art forms, pretty much all facets of art. So we're really excited to hear about your art and then tell you some tips about how you could potentially get media with your art. And Samantha's been with the magazine for the last about 1.5 years, and she's put in a whole lot of work. She actually wrote the Kendrick Lamar cover story. So before we get started, we were just quickly going to ask you guys to introduce yourselves and like say what art form you're attached to or what you do as an artist or anything, or just why you came today if you're not an artist.
My name is Junior Francois Junior Lavajess, aka J Legit. I run my own foundation, which is 16 Watts Hip Hop, and the objective of that is to embed at-risk youth with how to be developed in spaces for at-risk. I'm also part of the BC magazine, which is a local magazine in my neighborhood, and we basically put out what's going on in our community and just looking to build myself with social media. So I think learning from you guys with the Urbanology magazine, that'd be great.
Okay, so my name is Vidya. I'm not an artist. I'm on the board of directors of Scarborough Arts, one of the partners for the event. And I actually was born and raised in Melbourne also, so I thought I'd come and support and see what it's about.
My name is Nima. I'm an accessories designer, and I also live in Melbourne.
My name is PRIA, so I'm an arts educator specifically in the field of dance.
My name is Kareem Philip. I'm just here to get new experience.
You're wanting me to go? My name is Richard. I'm just the videographer here. I'm also a filmmaker, so I kind of just left my full-time job to do this full-time now. So.
My name is Jody. I'm an intern with Neighbourhood Arts Network. This is my first event. And
Hi, I'm Nick, and I like to draw, rap, and I can dance.
My name's Matt. I'm not an artist. I'm just with law students with her, and I'm actually a nurse, so that's pretty much that.
My name is Janaea. I'm the Community Outreach and Partnerships Coordinator for Lost Lyrics, and I think it's so important to have these types of skill shares and share this information. And a large fraction of our population, which is youth-oriented and youth-led, are all aspiring artists. So I can only imagine that this would benefit everyone.
My name is Mogi Mala. I'm a hip-hop artist. As an independent artist, I think these kind of programs and learning these skills is very vital in my success in the future.
My name is Kavan, and I'm a visual artist, and I'm still learning. I'm a student at ArtReach, and 1 year, so that was interesting.
My name is Aikino, also known as Keith Black. I'm an aspiring MC. Also, subscribe.
My name is Christoph Borzman, and I love to rap and love playing music. I love fixing cars.
So nice to meet all of you guys and hear all of your backgrounds in art or your connections to art. So what we're going to do is give our 5 tips to how you can get press, or someone you know, if you're not necessarily an artist yourself, can get press as an artist. Not necessarily meaning press from Urbanology per se, because maybe your art form isn't something that fits within Urbanology or that you even want to pitch to a magazine, but any type of press, whether that's from a blog or a radio show or whatnot. These 5 tips are more like universal sort of tips in getting press. The other thing to keep in mind is how we did the last workshop that we did is we like to keep it going in a little bit of a conversation. So if you have a question or you want to speak on something, let's speak on it at the moment as opposed to just hearing us speak and then having the questions all come at the end. Let's have dialogue. I don't know, I just feel like that's how we get to the real root of what you guys want to learn, which is the most important.
Do you want to join us?
Okay.
Put your hand. Okay, so we can start with this one?
Yes.
Okay, so our first tip is develop a professional and creative press kit. So I don't know if anyone, if you guys as artists have a press kit, but we're going to talk a little bit about the importance of that today.
So we pulled one of many press kits that we get on a daily basis from different artists from around the world who want to get coverage inside of Urbanology, and we're going to pass it around so you can take a look at it. Why we pulled this is because this is from a relatively starting out aspiring artist, and it's still at a very professional level, and it caught our attention. And we have covered him on our website before. So we just wanted to show that as sort of an example of where you can be. I mean, I've received very elaborate press kits. I remember receiving, a press kit from Drake before he became famous, Drake or whatever, and when he was just starting out in hip hop, and it was put together as like a cardboard, fold over pamphlet, and there was like a CD inserted inside of it. So that's very elaborate, but we wanted to bring something that did everything it needed to do, but in a little bit more of an affordable and grassroots kind of a way. But one thing you could do is try to find some little thing that you could add to your press kit that might attract attention. You're gonna find that the media wants something that's appealing. So whether that's a really bold, colorful photo that's on the front page of your press kit, or whether that is a little sticker or a little button that you add to it that the editor or writer that you're sending it to can just hold on to as kind of a memory of your brand, those things stand out to people. Those are the things that catch people's attention, especially when they're getting 100 of these on a regular basis.
So you wanted to have like your bio, your contact information, that is paramount, your discography, some of the things that, little highlights of your career, like maybe where you performed at or some of the press that's already covered you, but you want to do it in a very creative way. Like as an artist, you want to show them how creative you can be on paper. Like we all have a resume, everyone, from any type of job has a resume. It's who you are as a person on paper, and that's how you grab people's attention. But as an artist, don't be afraid to take risks and go above and beyond and show them how creative you can be, because chances are those risks are going to pay off because of the field that you are in.
And I gave an example in the previous room of if you have an initiative or an event that you, for example, want to get press for. Maybe when you're developing your press kit, maybe the first time you do that event, you don't have as many big, bold, colorful photos because you haven't done the event. But make sure you document everything when you're doing that event, so the next time that you want press to come out, like say for the second annual, whatever it is, that you have all these photos that really show someone when they take a quick look at it, so they don't have to spend more than 1 minute to think like, oh my gosh, that looks interesting. Oh my gosh, look at how many people are at that venue. I had one person tell us, because we also throw this annual event called Battle of the Beatmakers, and it's a producer competition, and one of the suggestions that we got was, don't just photograph what goes on inside, photograph that lineup that goes around the building of all the people who came out to your event to show next year's sponsors and people how popular your event is. So think of those creative things that you can add to your press kit that would make you stand out as opposed to the next person.
And then second is the press release. So after you've taken the first step to reach out to like a publication and show them who you are through the press kit, say you have a performance, or you've come out with a new video, or you've come out with a new line of jewelry, like an accessories, and you want the media to be aware of it, you want to send out a press release. So basically all the information that the media needs to know in order to come and cover the event or to keep us updated on what you're working on.
So you want those really key points. So if it's an event, who are the key speakers or who's the key performer? If it's an accessory line, was there a theme to it, or was it attached to a specific season of the year? But those key points, that goes into a press release. But you kind of need both to play off of each other. The press kit really tells like who you are, and the press release, you could write 12 different press releases a year if you had something different going on every month. But you might only have one press kit, and you might just keep adding to the accomplishments page of the press kit. So any questions about the press kit? Are we good with the press kit?
When you send out a press kit to a magazine or anybody in general, do you send it with a press release as well if you're trying to promote like a mixtape that's dropping or a video that's dropping?
The first time.
Yeah, first time, because especially because it's coming out at the same time. So you've just finished creating a press kit, and this might be the first time you're contacting that media outlet. And then on top of it, you also have a mixtape, then attach everything together. And then when you follow up with that journalist or that media outlet, you can say, I sent you my press kit back in January 2013 when my first mixtape dropped. A year later, I'm now releasing my second mixtape. If you no longer have my press kit on file, just feel free to ask for it, but you're not like bombarding them with it.
So make sure to keep like a PDF of that press kit so that you can send it on deck, that you can send anytime.
And keep track of like how many times, like when was the last time you wrote to that media or called that media, so that you can say to them, I sent it to you about 5 months ago. I sent it to Samantha at Urbanology. You know, did she pass it on? Have you guys considered it? Do you want me to send it again? Okay, I think, yeah, I think
just in case we don't get an answer back, how soon is too soon to
follow up? That was your question? Okay. That's like kind of a tough question, because sometimes there's events happening and it's happening next week and you didn't get a response and you really want the media to come out, so you call again. But sometimes you're releasing something and you're giving them like a 6-month lead on it, so you can give them a little bit more breathing room. I would say if you're starting out and you don't have a relationship with that media outlet, try to give them as much time as possible, because if you don't know them, chances are you might get pushed to the bottom of the barrel unless it stands out to them, right? So you want to give that time where you can call a couple of times and not feel like you're calling them every hour of every day. Now, once you build a relationship with them, you could give them things on a bit shorter notice, and because you've kind of proven yourself to them, they probably would come out faster. So yeah. So try to give yourself enough time where you could maybe put in a call or a follow-up if you're not getting any response every week or every couple of weeks. So you're not really like pestering them, which kind of ties into our next point. But you had a question?
The question I had is, what exactly is the press kit?
Okay, so when you get it, you can take a look, but it's usually consists of some visuals, so some pictures of whatever it is that you're putting together. It also has highlights, so key points, like, so you had an initiative, for example, so what's the mission of the initiative? What do you do in a very short, brief statement? You could say, like, what do you do? How many times have you done it? How many people come out? So there's facts in there, there's statistics or like numbers, because those things stand out. And there's also like key points like missions, mandates, and then achievements as well. And usually a little bio. So if you're an organization, maybe it's a bio about you, or a little about us, about the company itself. If you're an artist, it's just a bio on that person.
Which is really important because it also, sets you apart. There's so many different types of artists. Like, especially in this market, like hip hop, that's so oversaturated, and you as a person are really unique and you have a unique story. That bio is going to set you apart. So it may not be like the photos that are like popping out. It may be your story, and it may be like you have really intense highlights as opposed to other people. So it's basically picking your strengths, which you think that the media can tell a story through, and pushing those.
Isn't it the same as like a portfolio or a resume? What's the difference?
So it's almost like a little bit of both, but it has a slightly different goal. So I think a portfolio tends to show somebody's work, whatever work that is, over almost their entire career.
So like a visual artist would have your portfolio, like a hip hop artist, say they have their discography. So those are basically the same things, but you still need that thing that shows who you are and highlights who you are as opposed to your work.
Yeah, and I think the press kit is geared specifically to trying to get press. Your portfolio or your discography is like for anyone to know just what you've accomplished. But a discography or a portfolio doesn't necessarily make you press worthy. It means you've put in a lot of work and done a lot of things, right? But you need to get in that press kit something that shows that you are ready and a good fit for whatever media outlet that you're trying to pitch. All right. So yeah, number 2. This ties into what you were saying.
Don't spam, demand, or pester the media.
So how many of you guys have Facebook? How many of you have Twitter? And how many of you would think that those would be really great ways to get in touch with media that you want to cover? Your events or your artistry? Okay, so nobody else? Nobody else thinks that's good? Okay, all right. Okay, so it has its strengths and its weaknesses. So where it can become a weakness is around the spamming and the pestering. So when I sit at my computer and I pull up my Twitter timeline, and throughout a whole day, it's like all these artists have added me with their track, and all it is, yo, listen to my track, and that's all they've said to me, and I have no idea who this person is, or I've never heard of their music or their art form. That's challenging. That's a weakness of social media. We don't have a relationship. I don't know you. You're following me on Twitter, and you're just telling me, like, listen to my video so you can put it on your website, or you can feature me in your magazine. Well, I don't know anything else about you. And I honestly don't have time in my entire day to just sit there and go through all the links that show up on my Twitter. So it just feels like it's spam. And you get those tweets with like the stars and stuff, so it really feels like spam.
All caps.
All capital letters and whatnot, right? So I tend to just glaze over it because they're not speaking directly to me. I feel like they've spammed that to 10,000 other people too. So that's what we mean by social media. Where social media can be effective is once you've built like a rapport with that media outlet. And for example, you're getting the media outlet to come out and cover your event, and they're live tweeting, and then you're retweeting, and both of you guys are gaining followers off of those tweets. That's how you can use social media, or like sharing Facebook albums, or getting, when media covers you and you post it up on your Facebook page. Those are ways you can use social media to your benefit, but don't use it to spam. Don't use it as like, okay, so Seema and I are now Facebook friends, but we've never had a conversation, and all of a sudden she's just inboxing me with her stuff constantly. Then it becomes like, okay, well, that wasn't our relationship. Like, I didn't know when I added you that you were just gonna fill my inbox with, like, take a look at this type of thing.
So take the steps to send the press kit and the press release. And I know it's a little harsh, but don't expect the media to know who you are. Like, as an up-and-comer, it's really, I guess, mean, but don't expect anything from anyone but yourself. Like, it's your responsibility to take those steps to get the media to know who you are. So you want to be persistent in that, but you want to be professional about your persistence. So by taking those steps with the kit and the release, and then follow-up email or a follow-up phone call, and then building a relationship through social media without spamming, those are professional ways to be persistent in that.
And really try to find out how that media outlet that you're trying to get to likes to be pitched. Because every media outlet, every editor or writer or producer, they have their own ways that they like to be pitched, and depending on what's being pitched to them. So some people like receiving press releases in their email. Some people like receiving, like if you are a music magazine or cover music, they like receiving like downloaded links. But other people like receiving hard copies still of your CD. And when you send a hard copy, that's what stands out to them. Some people will invite me to their event and still send like a old school invite in the mail, in like snail mail. And that stands out because so few people do it that would catch my attention. So just find out by calling. I've got these calls all the time. People will just call our general business line and ask, I have something that I want to pitch to Urbanology. Where do I send it to, and how do I do it?
So you have 5 minutes.
And we're only on tip 2, so we're gonna go through this really quickly.
Number 3, know your media and build relationships with them. So we can't stress enough how important networking is. Kind of tying into the last one, in person is always a great way to build relationships as well. Like using social media, they don't call it following for nothing. Like if we're tweeting that we're going to be at an event and it looks like a great networking opportunity, come through and talk to us in person and build a relationship with us there. Let us know what you're working on. Let us know, oh, I'm going to be sending you my, my press kit and my press release. Hopefully that you'll have time to look at it. So in person is always the best way to do business.
Yeah, and know who you're pitching it to. So if you're trying to get into urbanology, then take time to read an issue of urbanology. If you're trying to get on a radio show, then listen to the radio show. Like find out what they actually cover, how they cover it, and then when you're pitching yourself, you can actually say, oh, I see that you covered up and coming Septo, artist Septo in your magazine, in your last issue. I think I deserve like the next grinding feature. And oh my gosh, you know that it's called grinding, so you know something about the magazine. I guess quickly getting into tip number 4, it's about being versatile about what you can talk to. So the media doesn't just want to interview someone who all they're going to tell me is my album's coming out on December 15th. Okay, yay. But that's all you can tell me over and over again. It's not making for much of a story. Or all you can say is what your jewelry line is named or your clothing line is named or whatnot. You want to be versatile in what you do. So,
and as an artist, you have a story and you have something that inspires you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be an artist. It's those things that make people relate to you. It's what's going to make you get fans, and that's what's going to make the media want to cover you because people relate to you. It's your human side.
So for like example, we will talk to people about things like what would they do if they were prime minister for the day, or we have this column where it's called Where I'm From, and we talk to the artists only about like the country or city that they came from. So in this issue, we had a soca artist, and we talked to him about Trinidad and Tobago. But like we've had people from all different cities all over the world, and they just talk about like things that make their home special and unique compared to like Canada, I guess, or Toronto. And in there, you'll get the sense that they're a soca artist, for example, but you'll also get to learn so much more about them that you might want to. No, in like our magazine. So what we're saying is like the press kit gives you like some real biographical, like structured information, but magazines and media are looking for you to even expand on that. They want you to be able to talk about something more than just when your album's coming out, which would be in your press kit. That information would be in your press kit or your press release. But when you get to that interview at CBC Radio, for example, they're going to want to talk to you about something more than just your album release date.
So what makes you special as an artist? Why should we care about covering you? What's going to make people want to listen to your music and relate to you?
It could even be like what you do outside of your art. Sometimes it's about like the work that you do in your community, or it's about like the job that you hold outside of being a rapper that actually makes you interesting to cover as a rapper. So make sure that you put those things out there and that people know that you're multi-dimensional. You can talk about politics because you talk about politics in your music, so you can talk about politics in the media.
And our final tip is create media opportunities for yourself. So, yeah, that's the last tip.
Yeah. It's basically to keep opportunities for the media to come to you. So hold an event. If you just shot a series of photographs, then find a little venue, find somewhere that will display your work, hold an event, have some hors d'oeuvres, some drinks, and an opportunity to mix and mingle, and that's where those opportunities are what the media will come out to, as opposed to just telling them, I just finished a photo series. So actually try to create those opportunities.
We covered an artist called Septo in the new issue, and instead of just sending us a press release of his new video, he actually invited us to come out and be behind the scenes while he shot the video. And we ended up turning that into a story which we put online. So different things like that create those opportunities for us to come out and build a relationship and cover you.